Started recording. I just realized that. So the recording does not have FA, but it will catch any live trades we make and any lessons we learn along the way. So, um, in any case, um, we did see that there were a lot more long liquidations on the one day. They were piling in. So let me just share it again for everyone's reference, right? Let's go back to the one day. We see that they're piling in, um, right? We basically got 1 to 1, short and long. So U.S. market open will want to take advantage of these very tight liquidity clusters. Of course, it's closer to the shorts, so it could just wreck these first and then head down. Because notice how we have sort of the staggered um, cumulative long thing, or just wreck this, grab this, maybe take a little bit of the pie, and then just stop there. Let's see if that's sort of the trend in other coins. Yeah, it's closer to the shorts, so wreck the shorts, then come for the longs. Uh, yeah, I think there's a bigger incentive to wreck the shorts than come for the longs. So we might see a close in our Solana trade tonight. We'll see, because it is up, and I should probably check how much it's up by. And of course, we do have that XRP short from yesterday that still hasn't been filled. So I'm curious to see if we get that filled today. And yeah, with that said, as noted earlier, we will be looking at Aster. So let me just quickly make a duplicate. Um, don't miss your space. Oh man, TradingView has that now. Oh, interesting. Actually, it might be worth taking along on XRP. Oopsie, might be worth taking along because your 1 hour does have your hidden bearish div. Wait, what's wrong with my XRP? Huh. Okay, let me go to the 1 hour. Might be worth taking along when the 5 minutes sort of resets back down. Good money inflow as well. Might take along here at the dynamic reactor, but we'll see what happens market open first. Yeah, we didn't even touch the fluid zero line, but we bounced off the actual zero line. But we do have this very sort of tight, well, it's not actually that strong, bearish liquidity block. So we could possibly take a long to entry on our XRP, which is based on the 4 hour. Yeah, dump. So a sudden alert here, 1.91, possibly take a long. 2 hour short entry at 2.03. And as noted, we should look at Aster because it's been massively oversold according to our FA. I don't like this much sort of jumps, so I'm gonna go minimum 15 minutes. I think that's the only way to go with Aster at the moment. 15 minutes overbought. Downward reversal triangle, it is dumping. 4 hour at a discount zone. Okay, that's a very, very ugly falling wedge, but okay, it is overall bearish. Quantum reactor has confirmed bearishness, and yeah, actually might even be smarter to take a short, which is kind of sad. But actually, let's look at the chat first if there's anything. I see that we're joined now by Cranium, Evo Killer, and hey, Jad and Jaggy. Welcome, guys. Oh, Casting, Paolo. Um, welcome to the show. So lovely to see you guys again. Excuse the voice again. I still need to get my topical medicine for my upper lip, and I am running on Dunkin' Munchkins, Dunkin' Coffee, and a wonderful dream of helping you guys become a better trader. So, um, but yeah, so far, what I'm garnering from this is, this is a clear double bottom structure, right? And normally double bottoms are Ideally, bullish, but something about how this is setting up is kind of sketchy to me, right? Of course, our indicators are saying it is relatively bullish. Granted, you've got heavy money outflow on your 1 hour, for example, on Bitcoin. Oh, nope, didn't mean to do that. Okay, BTUSDT.p. Let's see. Dunkin' avocado toast is goaded. Unfortunately, we don't have that in the Philippines, but I'd love to try. It does sound wonderful. Yeah. Good morning, Shaz. Yeah. Does sound wonderful. I'd love to try Dunkin's avocado toast. Yeah. At most we get like, what do we have actually? I think it's really just pastries with Dunkin'. I don't think we have any like real food. It's really just the donuts. Stay hydrated. Of course, never forget those friendly reminders. Okay. Are these recorded? Could you give me a of what the fluid bottom is, if you can? Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, and actually in the last stream, this has sort of become a tradition. But yeah, to answer your first question, it is recorded. Um, this session in particular is recording as we speak, and I try to post it within an hour. But because like the video comes out as 5 GB usually, I have to like lower the file size before I can send it over. But let's go over the fluid zero line. So, um, what is the fluid zero line and how does it work? So, all right, this is the MVP oscillator. It's basic. It's a superior momentum indicator compared to, like, say, your MACD, and the reason being it's momentum in ribbon form, and therefore you can see whether or not momentum still has room to extend, right? Where with MACD you're sort of just guessing where momentum will start to die and whether or not that's actually the top, right? Because sometimes MACD will go one and then one more, but here on the ribbon, you can see if it's overextended to the top side or to the downside. And sort of a byproduct of that logic is the fact that we can have a fluid zero line, which essentially gives us an idea of whether momentum is overall bullish or overall bearish. Because, for example, if it's above the fluid zero line here, we can say that even if momentum is bearish, it's still overall bullish because of the fact that it's above your fluid zero line. So how we go about adding that, so I'll just delete it real quick. We just press these 3 dots. So I do Prime Oscillators Pro. Obviously you can just do Pro Plus, and I'll show you the settings for that as well. But go to MVP Oscillator. So once that's loaded in, click the 3 dots, go to Add Indicator / Strategy. You just type in MA ribbon if you have TradingView Premium. If you don't, you can use any indicator that allows you to basically just choose and modify the length of your moving average. So we just need one moving average, and the type really doesn't matter. For me, I prefer SMA. You can do EMA, but obviously you'll get a slightly different calculation. I prefer SMA. It's simpler, and it's literally in the name, simple moving average. And I see Bitcoin's pumping, which is great because we didn't short, but that does tell me that sort of the thesis is we pump and then we head down to once retail comes up. We'll see about that later. We changed the length to 144, and then I just make mine slightly thicker so it's easier to see. And this is the very important part. We have to go down all the way to the second to the last option. Now, if you do it from Prime Oscillators Pro Plus, it'll also be the second to the last option, but just click the second to the last option, and then this is obviously for aesthetic, and just like that, you've added your fluid zero line. So what's great is, for example, in this instance, you can see we were bearish, but we bounced off the fluid zero line. And you can see that aligned with the higher low double bottom that we did, right? Here, right, we got your bottoming bars, and then you saw that the fluid zero line went down, which makes it easier for the MVP ribbon to get above it, and therefore signal to you that overall momentum is bullish. And you can see after we got over it, we did have some moves to the downside, but momentum was still overall bullish, even with this move to the downside, right? So it sort of it helps you monitor possible fake outs in terms of price action, and it lets you be better informed when a dump might actually happen. Because if the fluid zero line is closer to the top, let's say over here, right? It's way closer to the top. This is the actual zero line. Your fluid zero line got all the way to the top. Momentum was literally dancing with it, right? Down, up, down. But the moment we did fall, it sort of became a leading indicator. We did get above, right? But it was still considerably above the zero line. And the moment we got out, we just dumped like a champ. So we can see sort of the same thing if we scroll all the way back over here, clearly above the zero line. We did get up, we fell down, and after that we got rejected off it, and it just works like a charm. So I hope that was able to help premium, and yeah, do tell me, or do tell me if it helps you with your trading. Let me see if there's anything. Oh, thank you, Daga, for always being so helpful. Appreciate it truly. But yeah, it looks like we still got the same audience as earlier, so nothing to worry about. But we are now testing that liquidity block on the 5 minutes. If we break past it, we get back into the channel. I'd want to see how we react to the FVG at 130. So let me just see how much we're up on Solana right now. So currently up 160% on Solana. Because I put in about 2% of my margin by oopsie, I'm technically up about 3% on my portfolio. So to everyone who followed my Solana long, congratulations, we're up, but now we're sort of watching it. And let's look at XRP. XRP measured move 5 minutes tells us we want to go above this liquidity block to the next 1.93, which is smack dab into the liquidity block on the 1 hour. So still a little cautious actually. Let's go to the 4 hour here. Lots of delta here in terms of volume and orders. So I do think we want to get back here. Let's see the chat. That's great. Thanks. Can I get the list to be able to download? It's hard to get on most mornings because of work. The recordings are on YouTube, so I'm not sure how you can download it. I mean, YouTube to MP4, or you just download it on the app and you can listen to it. But if it does help, or if you do need like a more hands-on experience, I do have myself a recorded version of me going over this as well on demand. It's just pinned to my channel. Let's see if I can do it right now actually, and beat Daga Daga to the punch. Unless he beats me, in which case that would be just funny. Uh, okay. Come on. Oh. Okay, this is it. There we go. So, hey, I don't know if that's an insult or kindness, but I'm not that slow. Okay. I consider myself a boomer, but I'm not that slow. Actually, I do have reason. Thank you. I do have reason to consider myself a boomer. So you guys know how everyone's got like a Spotify Wrapped. I don't know how. So for context, I am 21. I'm 21 years old. I'm not old. I'm Gen Z, 2004, right? But somehow, somehow, I'm 82 according to my Spotify Wrapped. Like, oh wait, it's not clear because it's the. I'm 82. Like, I don't know how that happened. Like, okay, do I listen to old songs? Yeah. Like, I like the old stuff, but I listen to new songs. Like my most played band's like a contemporary Filipino band. But anyways, let me go back to the chat. How do I add that on top of my Bravo? Yeah. So three dots, and if casting, if you need sort of the in-depth thing right now, and you still want to stay in the live, just click on the Chart Prime Pro Analyst Langestrom General Trading Technique link, and then just I think it's somewhere in the middle. I go over it literally just step by step how I did it here, so you don't have to wait for the recording of this to go live like in 2 hours. So yeah, so just uh, three dots, add indicator. Um, the positioning, you just second to the last, and you can always refer to the video. So I hope that helped. So we got 4 minutes, so kind of all hands on deck here. Aster's dumping in comparison to, I mean, Bitcoin is dumping, but that's a little big. Um, but I think we can possibly swing Aster instead. I mean, well, okay, you know what? Bluefin doesn't really have that much data, but I use Bluefin. 12H is oversold. Um, might be better to actually have some more data to work with, unless there is no data, more data to work with. Nope, there's no more data to work with. Okay, fine. I don't like that. That there's not a lot of data on Aster. So maybe Aster's a no touch or touch me not sort of thing. As we over here just say no limitang here. But okay. Let's see. What else did we look, or what else was interesting? Tau? Although I personally seem to really suck at trading Tau. Like every Tau trade I've given has not been fantastic, and so probably best for me to steer clear of it for your sake. Um, XPL, Pump, Tia, Bera. Hey, Jet and Jaggy, how about shorting OM? Alright, let's have a look at it, actually. But yeah, actually, if for those who are new here, welcome. And if you have any questions for indicators or any coins you want me to look at, let me know, because you know, we might be able to explore an idea together, and really could be something. Ooh, okay. Don't like this loss in info, right? Kind of scary. Okay. I see the idea, right? But I don't think it's time just yet. The reason being is we're sort of staying above the 618 on the 4 hour. We are bending over, but notice our fluid zero line on the 4 hour is still below the actual zero line. So that means any move right now is still bullish in terms of momentum. We tested the quantum reactor. We bounced off of it, and we're at the bottom extremity. So while momentum is technically bearish right now overall, and you could say that this is technically a double top, what I'm afraid of is that, how do I explain this? Because this is such a odd structure, but technically, if we can draw a triangle like this, it's not gonna be perfect, right? Something like this, right? It's basically, it's a very asymmetrical triangle. Like it's trying to be a symmetrical triangle, but it kind of failed at it. Um, but that means you can keel both sides. So we just really gotta wait. Um, the 4 hours not really giving me the confidence to short it. I mean, technically it did get rejected, technically, but if you're basically squeezing in between your reactors and the 618 on the 4H. So we just need to know if we get above the reactors or below the reactor, or below the 618. Um, if we go oversold here on the 15 minutes and all the way to the downside, then I fully suspect we break to the upside on OM. Hey, hey, Sugar Daddy. Hi. Can you do a quick scan of Salon Upgrade? Can you please tell me what name of the Cranium? You just gotta click class recordings. It's OC Guy, I think. So just click recordings. It's a trio YouTube video. Just click the link on any of them. It'll take you to the YouTube channel. Yeah. Sugar Daddy, can you do a quick scan of Solana? Of course. So, to tell you the truth, Sugar Daddy, we're actually in a long on Solana right now. So we entered right here at the wick. Um, you can check the signal was given like a whole couple hours, maybe even a day early. So we were able to enter here. Right now, what I'm waiting for is how we react to the FVG here at 130. That said, we are getting sort of a rejection already at 129, which is our premium zone liquidity block. But if we just keep trying with our money flow on the 15 minutes, it's possible we just continue to the upside. But I fully suspect a nasty rejection at around 130. So I am hands on deck for it. I am waiting. If we get a nasty rejection, I'm reversing my long, or possibly just closing, because if we go to Bitcoin, right, it is heading up, and we saw earlier that we have a liquidation hotspot at around 88.5, 88.6. So when we get to this area, I fully suspect a nasty rejection. We can see that the dynamic reactor of the 1 hour is at 88.6, which is the liquidity hotspot we saw in our fundamental analysis. And I don't know whether our CPO plus will be overbought by then. I don't think it will, but it's possible that after we get here, nasty rejection back to the downside. So same thing with Solana. Yeah. Thank you, DagaDT. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. 2 minutes. So, Sugar Daddy, I do think that we should set alerts for 1:30 and see what happens from there. Hello, bro. This is my first time to ask you. Is this good time to long XRP? Actually, I did say that we could have longed it earlier, but we were a little late. I didn't like the fact that we could long it here, and you can see why. I'm really averse to not getting like sort of a clean scalp or clean swing. That's just sort of the risk management part of me. That said, I do have a short entry rather, at the 4 hour liquidity block here on the 4 hour, right near the resistance above the 618. So theoretically, by consequence, you can say you can do like a short, not short, like a small hedge long, right? And I do think Solana's headed up solely based on the 4 hour. Did bottom, got that, headed up. So I do think we head up on Solana. Where to enter, I'm not entirely sure, because I want sort of the 5 minute or 15 minute to reset completely. So if we go to the 15 minute, right, it's about to go overbought, which means you probably will come back down. And the fact of the matter is, you're just ranging at this point, right? But the good thing is 15 minutes does tell you you're technically bullish. Your quantum reactor. Oh no, dynamic reactor is above quantum. It's green. You're just waiting for confirmation. but you're sort of in a squeeze for the liquidity blocks and the reactor itself. So right now, kind of hard to say to long XRP. Not a lot of direction. Um, so unfortunately, you know, if you want to, you could do like a small hedge long XRP, just small margin, low lev, just ride it up here possibly, and then hope for the best from there. But you could be in drawdown for quite a while. Shorting at 88.5k. I mean, I'm shorting it at 89, but 88.5 is sort of a area of interest for me because when we did our fundamental analysis earlier, we saw that it was a liquidity hotspot, and we found that surprisingly our dynamic reactor is by the liquidity hotspot. So, you know, looking at the documentation, right, your dynamic reactor isn't like a set moving average as far as I can tell. I don't know the full calculations behind it. I'm I'm an analyst contracted by ChartPrime, not really sort of their software or their Pine script coder. But what I do know is that our tools are crazy accurate. I mean, that's how I've been giving just crazy signals to you guys. I think out of the 8 I've given for the month, I think there's only one that's lost. So yeah, and everything has been TP1 SLBE, so like zero risk, you get money, and that's using the tools, right? And we find that the dynamic reactor, which is a great place to take profits or close orders, is right where the fundamental analysis was saying there's a liquidity hotspot. So coincidence maybe, but really good coding I think is likelier or a better explanation for it. So you know, it's an area of interest for me. Yeah. Let's see who else is in the chat. I see you. Oh, Tekwo, welcome. Lovely seeing you. Vusi, welcome. Uh, let's see who else is here. Vamshi, welcome to the show. Enjoy having you guys over. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Do those two oscillators you have open show divergence on the short shoot time frame, and that's good or bad? Does not confirm it's going up short term. Well, the oscillators I have, they're different tools, right? This is the yeah, you're plus. Okay, so you have access to these. So this is the Prime Oscillator Pro Plus, and essentially this tells me market direction, trend strength, volume, money flow, and divergence, right? And trend shifts. So you know, this is saying that we are transitioning to bullish, we have bullish volume, there's a lower amount of money outflow. So yes, it's saying that we are headed up on the 1 hour time frame. I think the same is true if we look at the 4 hour. It will say that we're also headed up, or it wants to head up. If we look, yep, it's green, you know, negligible money outflow, bearish volume, but you know, it's saying that we want to head up. So let's go back to the 1 hour, and of course the MVP ribbon tells gauges momentum. So we bounced off the fluid zero line here. We are above the fluid zero line, so that means overall bullish. We did get a bullish twist here on the MVP ribbon, so it does say that we also want to head up on the 1 hour. So it does say that we want to go up in the short term. I don't want to say it confirms we're going up, because with our oscillators, when it's saying it's going up, it could possibly mean there's like relief, right? It doesn't mean we're headed up all the way, right? So for example, here we're still headed down, but you can see that in terms of direction or sort of the strength of the move, it is headed up, right? And that's sort of a divergence right there. You know, you're making lower low, but if you're on the oscillator, you're making higher low. So bullish divergence, classic. So you know, this is it's not RSI. It's obviously a superior RSI. It's more accurate, at least in my opinion. Divergences are more accurate. Overboughts are more accurate. Oversolds are more accurate. It's way more useful, right? But the point is, generally with direction, it's saying we want to head up, but that doesn't guarantee that we are going to just magically head up. It's just a higher probability that we do. Uh, I'm long with XRP. Ah, lovely. Uh, Good luck, Tekoa. Uh, you've gotten so much better compared to just a month ago. I mean, I remember when I was starting out the lives, you were one of my first people in the audience, and you know, just complete newbie. And now I see you with those gains. So I'm really happy, and I trust your judgment. So, have you seen Deep Charts? It has interesting tools for order flow and liquidity. I have, but I kind of just like just using good old trading view and my strategy. So, I mean, obviously you can incorporate that into your strategy. It's perfectly fine as well. So, yeah. But yeah, I also know like what's it, book maps um for orders and where the hotspots are. So, deep charts, book maps, very interesting stuff. Maybe one day I'll look into getting them, but right now I'm satisfied with the accuracy of the tools we have here. The left shows it's wanting to go down, but the MVP is more reliable than the trend reversals. You think? Oh, so the thing is, Cast Inc. I do multi time frame analysis. So this is the 5 minutes. This is the 1 hour. So whenever we look at the charts, right, or whenever I look at the charts, some people don't do multi time frame analysis, and that's up to them. But I'm an advocate for it, and the reason is how I understand the market is we're just reading the same story, but we're reading different chapters in that story. So, for example, right, essentially, what we're looking at is always going to be the macro, right? If we go to the 1 week, I know this is a very ugly chart, so just bear with me. I don't know why TradingView won't let me turn off some of these indicators, but just bear with me. All right, we can see, right, sort of this move. We bounced off our 3-day bullish order block. We're still basically testing this trend line within this week. But what we can't see is that we do want to head up on the 1 hour, but our momentum is still saying we could see more downside, which is why I didn't say giga long, right? I basically treated this entire area we've been in as basically areas to trade longs, and you know, we're shorting it right now. Um, but essentially, what we're looking at here is in terms of the macro, in terms of the biggest picture we've got, this is the 1 week time frame, right? It says we're more likely to head up, but we can't ignore the downside. And when we go back into the 1 hour, 5 minutes, we're seeing that this 5 minute move comes in context of the 1 hour, which draws its context all the way to the 1 week. So it's important to know that if you're trading, for example, the 1 hour, you're looking for your entries on the 5 minutes, but you don't want to ape here, right? You don't want to enter on a move where the 5 minute says it could go down, because then you'd be in drawdown. So, you know, I always rely on the higher time frames to guide my trading. It's my bias. And yes, you're right. Basically what you're saying is the one on the right is more reliable. But I take the context of the right when I look into the 5 minutes. Don't don't get lost in the time frames, because that's a whole other beast in itself, right? Don't miss the um, don't miss the forest for the tree. Is that the saying? This is the forest. Your higher time frame is the forest, and your lower time frame is the tree. So don't miss the forest for the tree. You gotta use both, and that makes you sort of a more informed trader. Do you not use True Seven? I don't. I mean, lovely indicator, right? It's leading indicator, but I think it sort of confuses my logic, right? I mean, down to the, like, look at my settings. I don't do True Seven, don't do VWAP. It sort of confuses the whole thing for me. Uh, and for those who use all of it, that's cool too. But I found that this is what's best for me. I changed the colors. I changed even the symbols. Right, this should be. I think this normally is a diamond or a circle. Even I even changed even the signal up, signal down. Even if I don't use them, I changed top bottom as well. this is like a double equals. I made it upper so I can see the the signals a little better. So feel free to modify and play around with your settings because uh, you know, we're given the whole thing, but sometimes in our strategy we don't need the whole thing. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that the other tools are bad. It just means that you don't need them or you don't have to use them. Right? The carpenter isn't going to need a hammer when he's trying to screw in a screw. You need a screwdriver. And in this case, the hammer for this is the True 7. But that doesn't mean a hammer isn't useful, because if you need a nail, then yeah, if your strategy involves having to hammer a nail, then absolutely you'll need True 7. So just play around and really have fun. I spent like, when I started with Shard Prime, I spent like a whole month, maybe even, actually, I said 4 because it is 4 months. I spent 4 months just back testing everything, and I found this to be the optimal sort of layout for me. Dang, so we might launch up to 100k for the right shoulder. Yeah. I mean, that's what the macro Elliott wave says if I go back to it, which is why, I do think that when we get here, this is sort of our major decision zone, right? XRP crossing 1.91. Okay, so it's on the downside. But going back here, point is, if we get to the 1 week golden zone, so 618, do we reject? If we reject, then shorts galore, I guess, right? Shorts galore. But if we go above it, we reclaim the 200-day moving average, then our 1 week retracement places us all the way up here. Langestrom the Carpenter. I like it. Yesterday, Stock Scalping Samurai called me the scalping attorney because, for context, I do want to become a lawyer. Trading is my hobby. It's my passion. I love it. And, making money off trading is great, right? Uh, I use it to feed myself, and buy stuff. And of course, I use it for a whole plethora of things that I feel I should use it on, right? Uh, but my end goal is to become a lawyer, and that doesn't mean I'm gonna leave you guys. I think definitely I'm really enjoying the community here, and I think at least what I've spoken with Alex, the CEO, I'm gonna be here long term. That's how I see it. So all throughout law school, I'm gonna be here. Once I become a lawyer, I'll probably still be here. We'll see. We'll see how things shape out. But yeah, maybe I'll take up carpentry. We'll see. But yeah, makes perfect. I believe that is where I was messing up. It's 5 minute and 1 minute. Yeah, 5 minutes and 1 minute. They're very related, right? The only difference is like the magnitude. You want at least, I would say at least, 8 times. Uh, yeah, at least 8 times the magnitude. So for example, 30 minutes, 4 hours, perfect sense. There's 8 candles, 8 30-minute candles in a 4 hour candle, right? That makes perfect sense. 15 minutes, there's 16 15-minute candles in a 4 hour candle. Makes perfect sense. 5 minutes, 1 hour, there's 12 5 minutes. You want at least 8. So if you were going to use the 1 minute, you could have maybe used 8 minute, possibly 15 minutes. 15 minutes would have made more sense to me if you were really just massively using the 1 minute. 5 minutes is a little, like, the noise there is a little bit too much, and so that could give you like false moves. But let's look at what's going on. Nasty. We rejected off this. Okay. But yeah, that looks nasty. Change of character 5 minutes, but bottoming bars. XRP, and this is also why I said maybe you shouldn't long XRP right now. But okay, we've got. It's been 18 minutes since market open. Excuse me. 1 minute kinda HNS. How do Bravo 789 work in the background? Broken up trend after. Nice. 789. To tell you the truth, I'm not really too familiar with sort of Bravo's indicators, but how I understand it, right? When you reach the 9 count, the likelihood of a trend shift is higher. That's basically it. So it's basically a signal to you that if you get the 7, if you get the 8, you get the 9, expect a potential reversal in trend. Um, Obviously, you can probably ask, uh, but then you can probably ask other. Actually, no. As far as I know, the other pro analysts also don't use Bravo's indicators too much. I think we really just stick to the MVP oscillator. But you know what? I'll study it a little more and get back to you. But yeah, let's see who else is here. Uh, a Flying Dutchman. Get M86. Big Papa. Welcome. Um, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. Is there another indicator setup that shows the same or similar levels that show whale buying and selling? Um, I mean, technically, volume profile does. So, if I go to a naked chart, so I am using Chart Prime's volume profile, and if you sort of subscribe to the theory, right now there's not, on the one day at the very least, there's not any sort of whale activity that's being or that's relevant. So, how do you spot a whale? Uh, Maybe 4 hour, maybe 12 hour could give us something. So essentially, when price is exhausted, like in this instance, right? And if it loads, okay, here, interesting. All right, so we do have a few instances here. Actually, this is an instance of whale activity. So when price is exhausted, whether it's to the upside, to the downside, doesn't matter, right? For example, here, around this area, we see we've been getting like diamond shifts. We got even a peak seeker up here. We broke here. This is all-time highs, right? When price is exhausted, whales or smart money don't need a lot of orders. So the bars on the right tell you the amount of orders, money flow or volume. Actually, it's actually better to say money flow because that's how the volume profile is set up. So, amount of orders, this is sort of your delta of the orders. When you have low volume, low delta at extreme points, that's sort of whale activity right there, right? And we can see retail suddenly hopped in at around 111. This has become the money flow POC, your point of control, where you have the most amount of orders, right? When we scroll down, right, we can see that there's not really much whale activity just yet at this level. And oh, looks like we're back to the upside. Yeah, which is also why I'm a little hesitant to scalp, or I'm looking for the right scalp to do. I mean, just look at that. 570, 532. Actually, we should probably go back. We can look at the lesson again later. We're eating the FVG. Suddenly became the premium on the 5 minutes. Let's see. Are we going to hit my entry? Okay. We hit the FVG on the Solana. It's probably time to get out, actually. Or we'll see. Oh, I don't know what happened there. But again, this was our liquidity hotspot according to the fundamental analysis, right? If we can maintain this candle on the 5 minute close, then that's a strong candle, strong case to be made. Granted, Bitcoin short SL to be at this point, so I'm okay if we get stopped out. But yeah, let's look at this. You can see it's sort of struggling to get here. Yeah, it could like boom push up. But if we close kind of weak. I wouldn't expect it. XRP shooting up. Great job, Tekwo, on the call. I hope the drawdown didn't kill you earlier. So, I mean, we're still waiting, right? If this is a strong close, then it's probably not worth shorting, right? But if it's a weak close, which we have 17 seconds to decide, then probably worth shorting. Any other ways to view the any other good ways to view the volume profile? Other than market dynamics, no. Okay, so good thing. So we got stopped out, at least on our Bitcoin short, which is thankfully, um, thankfully SL to BE. Yeah, up 200% on Solana. Right. Let's just wait for it. So we did punch above it, which I'm glad. So looks like we're going for this one right here. So that's useful information. Yeah. So I'll set an alert at 88. See how we do. If we go back down. How's OM doing? OM's up. XRP is up. Nice move as well. 92.5 next. Possibly. Wait, I should delete this because it's technically done. Take profits on that too. You know, but we under 1 hour, this is just major resistance, liquidity block, POC. So 90k is major resistance for us on the on Bitcoin. Right, even our quantum reactor is there. So when we get to this point, I would be a little worried. But we'll see how worried we need to be. Can I get your username in Blowfin for copy trading? Yeah, hold on. Let me send the link again because I believe Alex put me as Alex Chen. So yeah, that is my name. It's not Alex Chen is my name. So da, da, da. Yeah, let me just grab this. Yeah. I'll send it in trading chat. Thank you, Dagaditi, for promoting the session. But yeah, I'm just sending it in trading chat. You can go over there, Vamshi. So it needs to take that VWAP before 92 confirmation. I don't have VWAP on. VWAP's great, but I don't use it anymore. But I guess just for the sake of exploring, we can put our VWAP on. Let's VWAP. Let's see how our VWAP is. This is a strong 1 hour candle. If we close like this in a minute 30, because you know a lot of things can happen in a minute. So wow, 123. Actually, the VWAP. Yeah, you know there's too much stuff going on. So VWAP is your volume weighted average price. So it's basically the true average price based on how much orders are actually coming in, rather than price action in itself. So the channel is basically your highs and lows. of where it's basically starting to calculate, right? So it's useful for determining where the session in which, or like the candles in which it's getting the VWAP from. So hold on. I kind of want to see if we break past the POC on Solana 1 hour, which is also surprisingly premium and macro. VWAP SED. Yeah, thank you. There's actually one VWAP I like using. It's like rolling VWAP. I think it's a trading view indicator. Yeah, this one by trading view. Like rolling VWAP is pretty cool. So if I make it white and then fatten it up and then just remove everything. So trading view classic indicator, it's pretty cool. So you can see our VWAP is down here, and strong 1 hour close. So congratulations, guys. This is a real pump. But now we're facing the quantum reactor, then equilibrium, then liquidity block, and then we're probably going to go overbought. So right now we can rejoice in a little bit of upside, but I wouldn't get too excited just yet. Yeah, wouldn't get too excited just yet. Excuse me. Because as you can see, at least at this point in time, right, your rolling VWAP is very far away from price action, and typically price action likes to stay near the VWAP. You can see we broke into this part, right, and immediately we came back down. Broke here, we came back up to the VWAP, came back down to the VWAP, up, came back down, and now we're up, so likelihood we come back down, but we'll see how things go. Sweet entry just hit on NAS order. Oh, lovely. Would that be used to short, or what would you prefer to see? I actually didn't have a look at NAS's orders, so let's have a look at it. But hey, Desmond, lovely seeing you here. Let me look at Sui. How is Sui doing actually? Sui lagging from the market? No. Let me just. Okay, no. That is the old setup that I had. So let me go here, and then let me remove this real quick. Oh, I don't know if I want to short Sui actually. But I thought, but wasn't NASA's Sui like from a couple hours ago? It's like, yeah, it was this morning. More that's 7 plus 12, 19 hours ago, and it's already hit like a lot of targets. So I don't think it's valid anymore. Because Sui's pushing back to the upside. Yeah. I'm doing well. A little bit on the skin condition and sleep deprived, but happy. Happy to be here. Happy to make money with all of you. And share knowledge, talk a bit. I have friends, I swear, but this is a whole different thing because a lot of my friends are my age, and we talk about stuff 21-year-olds talk about, memes, hang out, whatnot. But here I do feel passionate about it, and some of my friends don't get it, like they can't follow along. That's not like a dig on them, right? But it's very different when you get to hang out with a crowd that understands your passions the way you understand them, and wants to learn the way you want to learn as well. That's a whole different special thing entirely. I see. But yeah, uh, what's the? I mean, kind of far up actually. Actually, I think Solana just hit first TP SLBE. Let me double check. Uh, of course, everything is in my channel in terms of the things I give in advance. So, such as this Solana long, right? 133.5. You know what? It about reached it. Let's call it 133.5. I'm on some exchanges it did hit 133.5 on this move. So Solana officially is now first take profit SL to break even for those guys who are in my Solana long. So I'm going to update my orders to have it at SL to BE. So this is where did we enter? 123.8. I'm gonna do like 124. Stop loss to break even. Oh, hey Do, or is it Ido? But welcome to the show. Hey Matchstick, lovely seeing you guys. But yeah, and now I can cancel my stop loss order from before, and now we are risk free on Solana long. So let me update the Blowfin as well, so that anyone who's copying my trades, uh, they're basically good. One. Okay, yeah. Yep, it hit 133.5. Definitely, um, definitely going to be. Did you have a BDC long position set up? Really? Uh, I'm gonna have to check with Alex how that works. I'll just tag you Vamshi in training chat once I get an answer from him. Um, damn, I got called Prime. I feel like an Autobot, like Optimus. I grew up on that stuff. Did you have a BDC law? I did, but it didn't go to my order. So my order was down here, 84. Uh, it is what it is. You win some, you lose some. But you know, I do feel we could go back down there. We have a liquidity hotspot around 85 back here. So this is a liquidity hotspot on fundamental analysis. I wouldn't discount it to these guys to pull off something like this, right? Like sort of a double bottom euphoria, then dump us. I wouldn't put it past them to pull off something similar. Uh, let's go back to Solana. XRP short just really. Wait, Desmond, I modified the XRP short. Oh no. Oh no. Desmond, I modified the XRP short. It was like it was a couple hours ago. Oh no, it's if you scroll, it's one of the latest ones I think. Yeah, modified entry. I released it this 12 hours ago. Modified entry. I basically placed it here because I felt that it was gonna just push up further. Oh no. Really? Huh. I'm gonna I'm gonna speak with Alex if I can how I can set up a copy trading thing because that's basically what we spoke about. So affiliate link and then we can get to copy my trades. But thank you Daga for telling me. I'll ask Alex about it. Oh man. But yeah, if you can get into profits again, or like SL to or not SL to B, but to break even, I think it's best to close, because this 4 hours gonna push all the way up to the liquidity block for sure. But yeah. But yeah, also I placed a range there because I'm trying out sort of a new metric. So rather than a 2.5% portfolio stop loss, I'm doing 2%, and then trying to aim for like a 1 to 2.5 minimum. So just seeing how that works. But my personal leverage is ADX, if that's useful. Uh, but yeah. Oh, no, no alarm. But yeah, right now Solana is printing quite well. Um, it's it's giving me quite a lot, but I don't like our wicks like this. Might be too much, but so I was wondering, so you could somehow have updates with all positions at the same time. I mean, it's difficult. I mean, I try. I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna experiment with like a log, because personally, right, I have my trading log calculator template. Uh, I'll see what I can do about it. Um, but definitely something I did consider over like the past week, since trading's very dynamic, and when I give a signal ahead of time, sometimes the confluence is a little bit off, so I like to modify it. And I do understand like people are asleep, and things change as people as like, time progresses, and we can't always be awake. So it's also why Alex and I were talking about sort of the copy trading idea. But I'll bring that up. So yeah, uh, maybe give me after New Year's to iron it out, and I'll see what I can do about it. Yeah, but yeah, thank you guys for trusting in my setup. Yeah, I really appreciate it. So potentially a hedge short might actually be pretty useful. 5 minutes over bought. I want to wait for Bitcoin to go over bought or show some sort of bearish div here on the 1 hour and then short it again. I think that would be to our advantage. XRP. But yeah, I'm really sad because I remember I placed like a joke XRP long here. I never posted it. I never had an order for it. Like I never shared it, never posted it, never made an order personally. And then when I opened this, um, like on the dump to 80 85, I just saw it got filled, and now it would have been up. I mean, it's up 6%. So based on sort of my leverage calculator, it might have been like a 600% thing already, which is wild. Um, but yeah, right now, I mean, we did speak about this earlier, right? A push to the upside, kill the shorts, but I think we want a push to the downside eventually. The question is just, when do we get that push? Do we still push all the way here? I think we do. At least the 4 hours thinks we do, right? And it got halfway from here to here, so it makes sense to get the next leg or the halfway point here, face quite a bit of resistance, and then keel over a little. Bitcoin, let's go to the 4 hour actually. Oh, hey Voicey. Hey Chef. Sorry, Chef. Chief. Although, I feel like chefs get as much respect these days as chiefs do. But hey, Chief. Dimitar, it's been a while. Hugh Hector, lovely to see you. Always love your cat with sunglasses. Can never get old. Never get old. Yeah. Think we're going up up until lunch for small drop, then rock it up. Uh, Lunch. Are you in the U.S.? I think we do. Head up until lunch. For context, it's like 12. It's about to turn like 12 a.m. in my time zone. So sorry. Yeah, really cool to have international things. It's just time zones always get messy. Yeah, 10 a.m. EST. Yeah, it's 11 p.m. Uh, GMT plus 8. Now short. Oh, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Wait, I'd say wait for the 1 hour or 4 hour. I don't think now is the time to short. I mean, we do have that. We are testing this liquidity block right here. Momentum is still overall bearish, but momentum's just killing it on BTC right now. Money flow's killing it on the lower time frame as well. So I don't think we short just yet. We gotta wait it out a little bit. Patience. Good morning. Good morning. Yes. Good morning. Or evening. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Have you moved your SL to entry? Yep. Yeah. I just did. Well, actually, I announced it a few minutes ago. But yeah, I moved it already. We got to our first TP, so go. Feel free to go zero risk on Solana right now, and I mean it's a pretty decent zero risk. It's up 7. It got up to 8%, so likelihood of it dropping again, it's possible, but very unlikely with a move like this, especially if the 4 hours just gonna tell you to continue going up. But yeah, looks like I'm going to be fed this weekend with this Solana long. XRP could have fed me too, but it was an oversight, not to tell you guys or even think about it. I just did it as a joke. But what I think I'm gonna do moving forward is expect something along the lines of multiple coins getting the same sort of idea. So what I'm going to do to maximize my strategy and profit making is to basically look for at least 2 coins at a time that are showing very similar moves, have very similar like liquidity zones and whatnot, and just going through. So like this Solana long, the logic I used on the Solana long was the logic I used for the hypothetical XRP long, which was over here. It was this white line that I drew, right? And you can see it got hit. So it's gonna be something like that moving forward, so we can really maximize what's going up and what's going down. Yeah. Do you post when short? Absolutely. Tech whoa. It's like you don't know me. I'll post when I short. Don't worry. I won't leave you guys out of it. Yeah. Thank you, Desmond. Thanks for the trust. Thanks, Ado. Yeah. I was thinking about it because I was like, damn, being up on the portfolio by 6% right now, fantastic. But had I put in XRP, I'd be up 12%, and then I'd be able to do more stuff. Like right now, not right now, but earlier, I got my girl brand new tires because her tires were just absolute garbage. I feel like just a few more kilometers, or I guess in the US it would be miles. I feel like just like 200 miles later, or what's that in kilometers? That's gonna be like 300-ish kilometers. Yeah, 300-ish kilometers. The threads on those are just gonna die out. Just gonna be non-existent. So it's got her new tires and paid fully by trading. So 320. Oh, thank you. Yeah, 320 kilometers. Yep, thank you so much. Yeah, it's funny because my best friend lives in studies and lives in the U.S. right now, so I have to think about this converting metric to imperial. It's wild. Like it makes sense sometimes for both, but it also doesn't make sense sometimes for both. Uh, Would it be time to short? No. Bearish div overbought. Hold on. 1R. If the 1R closes like this, we can flip short. It's a guesstimate. Oh, okay. Thank you. But that means my guesstimate wasn't that off. But yeah. Okay. Now, OM is still in this sort of very ugly symmetrical triangle we drew. Um, but it is what it is. XRP, XLM. I mean, thank goodness XLM's not dead, I guess. I mean, nice pump, 5 minutes actually. But it's kind of displaying what the candles were for other coins from earlier. Bullish cross on XLM. Didn't even touch the FVG. Solana. Bitcoin. Bitcoin back below 90. But we'll see. My opinion of incoming retail trading scenario, upcoming AI, still alpha decay when automated trading is a normal thing with retail. I mean, it's definitely something, right? And Daga, DT, and I were laughing about it just a couple months ago, especially with like prime automation. We were joking like I would lose my job, which it's funny. Um, but I think there are some things that you can train AI to do, right? And obviously, it thinks a lot, or very similar to us, right? But uh, but there are a lot of factors that go into it that the human intuition or mind still does better. So, for example, right now it's still difficult to get AI to trade ranges, even whether you've programmed it to be contrarian or trend following. It's still difficult for it to wrap its head around, and um, a lot of the automation services right now are still tied to basically the information that's solely on TradingView or the exchanges that you're on. So looking at sort of liquidity hotspots, planning entries in advance, that's still something it can't do. Like you could train it to do that, but I think we're not there yet. I mean, it has its place, right? I would absolutely love to have Prime Automation and tweak it a bit. I think Automation Mav is experimenting with that right now, in trading chat, but uh, definitely when it comes to setting orders in advance, seeing things from a different angle, I think we still have that edge. Retail traders are probably gonna get screwed over because they ape into things and they're emotional, right? AI is definitely gonna screw retail over. That's just the truth of it. If you don't have the tools, if you don't have the right psychology going into trading, if you're emotional, you're gonna get screwed over by an artificial intelligence that didn't have emotions to begin with. But if you're a retail trader, like a retail trader, but you've got a strategy, you're not emotional, you stick to the plan, you have exit entry plans, you have contingency plans, and you can basically factor in news, economic output, banking, financing, all of that, then I think you still have the edge over an AI. It's basically you being the bot or trading like a bot, but having the ability to understand a little bit more nuance. So I don't think it's gonna replace uh, Runair or Naz or me just yet, and I hope it doesn't replace us 5 years down the road. I mean, imagine doing these lives and all you see is just like a robot. Welcome to the live scalping beta with Langestrom AI. Ooh, so we can see that there is significant money inflow in blah 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 blah. Even when, when like 1 or 2 years when Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible. I wouldn't put it against them, but there are things with AI right now that are also difficult. I don't know if you've read about the sort of the monster behind AI. Obviously, yeah, and how AI tried to murder someone, but that's a whole other thing. Um, Sort of Flare will doom us all. Lol. It's one way to look at it. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna kill us in our lifetime though, isn't it? Coming like a few thousand years, no, a few million years from now, right? Quantum computing is breaking BTC. If that happens, Bitcoin will be the smallest problem in the world. Yeah, something. Okay, let's get back to the thing. So Solana is dumping. Got to the FVG. Actually, it's funny. It, Desmond, was my entry here for 1.98, right? That was the entry on the first XRP short. If it loads, I think so. Waiting for your short call. Thank you. No, but I think it killed the short. Upside down cup BTC 4H are not enough. Yes, it was 1.98. Then the stop loss was over here, right? Like 2 point something. Damn it. Rough. 2 point rough. But no, I think it's still heads up. Like this is just a retracement because we're overextended. But quick scalp could have been. Um, Let me actually look at the 4H BTC that Cat Inc. was talking about. Uh, uh, okay, wait. Too messy. I'm sorry. Too messy. 4H, and then let me hide this thing real quick. Then let me invert. Uh, mm, let's look at price action. I mean, it's hard to tell. This just looks like a range, no? Right. If I if I just grab a channel tool like this, it just looks like a bigger range. And I mean, bear flagging it. Or if you wanted, like, if we were more specific, like from earlier, it was placing it like this. It looks more like a retest of the ascending channel that we had earlier. But if it gets through, then I mean, that looks scary. I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about that. You trade fib retracement. So much content. People love it, or people call it astrology. Well, I do 0.618. 0.5 is also good. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I will say, I think fibs works absolutely when there's no market manipulation, because right, how these exchanges work is they're getting the orders, and they're basically running it through an algorithm that's trying to give fair value. Doesn't want to screw anyone over. Well, it's trying not to screw anyone over, but if you get screwed over by it, then you get screwed over by it. But it's trying to be as fair as possible. So that's why we get patterns on the charts, because they're market inefficiencies of what the order book or the total total order is sort of it's receiving, right? So getting this is a market inefficiency technically, because if it's just a complete free market, then if people were shorting the shit out of it, it should just go down to zero straight away. But clearly, there are forces that are trying to basically keep it up, or buying in some cases, right? So 618 works perfectly because it's an algorithm, and because it's sort of a natural logarithm of things, right? The 618 perfectly without market manipulation. But when there is market manipulation, then it's kind of useless. Then again, a lot of our tools are kind of useless with market manipulation. So, I mean, we can possibly foresee it coming. Like, for example, the October 10 drop. I was shorting BTC, right? And I thought we bottomed out. So from like my 124k short down to 116, I was like, okay, we're gonna go long. So I flipped SL to PE. I was like, ooh, I'm happy. And then suddenly we dropped, and I was like, oh, that's rough. Could have just kept my short and would have made uh would have made enough to feed me for a whole 3 months without thinking about it. Yeah. Yeah, moon phases are weird, but they work. I've tried it once. I didn't like it, but I can't deny that it worked, which I hate, by the way. So let's just reverse. Okay. So let's see. I mean, I still want to get to our FVG, right? If we can. But if we not, then okay. Solana's dropping. Money flow div. Okay, let's go back here. This should go back to 5 minutes. Interesting. Very different candles, but how's XRP doing? Is it dropping? No, the XRP is also holding. Solana's dropping. If it's a what is it? If it's a new moon, it's bearish. If it's a full moon, it's bullish, I believe. Yeah. Who else is in the show? B15C, love the Star Wars droid name. JMBRX, welcome. Fox, welcome. Love the suit. G Thornton, always love the wonderful shit with hair. Love it. Malvi, welcome to the show. We still got 30 minutes on the live, and right now we're just sort of waiting it out. No. So 15 minutes. What does it look like? 15. Oh, that's ugly, actually. .38%. Okay, past the volatility matrix. 1 hour. Oh, okay, I actually do want to check out Ave Smart Buy. Hey, Gur. Welcome. I didn't even see you there. Hey, Gur. Hey, C. Um, yeah, looks like my regulars are coming at like 30 minutes before the show ends. Yeah. Yellow is the 618. Yep. Love the 618. Ichimoku Cloud. I used to actually use the Ichimoku Cloud before transitioning to CP's tools. Um, I actually do use the Ichimoku Cloud Oscillator by CP sometimes. Okay, let's see what we do at the FVG, and then we can think about possibly closing from there. At least the Solana long. Because we do still, I mean, we still have 30 minutes on the hour, so I'm not too worried. Damn, that could have been a good short. To zero. No, I'm in a Solana long. Uh, but I guess we are shorting. So no, we're not shorting. I'm not shorting it yet. I don't know about Daga. He could be shorting it, and I wouldn't know. Yeah, your Air could be shorting it if I'm being honest. Yeah, mine are Fruit Loops. My setting colors are Fruit Loops. That's rough. Should have just kept that short going on XRP rather than moving it up here. But let's see. Because I mean, if you look, all of these guys went down to the dynamic reactor or their change of character. Might be something. If we break below it or bounce off the 618, we could be just looking at, your lower time frame retracements because, they got to rest. They're kind of exhausted after this huge move. Some investors and traders believe Luna can impact more because of their subtle gravitation. You're right. I did say Jesus Christ as well to that. Huh. Lovely. Bounce off dynamic reactor. Um. So I guess right now, yeah, I should really change. I should ask if we can change the name of this session since I remember I was telling you guys scalping's actually not my forte. I just happen to be pretty decent at it, and I enjoy just analyzing and giving signals when I see them. But that said, what I'm thinking right now, since we've got 23 minutes left, and I gotta work on my transit visa for Australia real quick. Um, what I'm thinking right now is, depending on how this hour closes, if we close bearish, then we can move to cancel or close our long rather on Solana, walk away with our 210% ROI, something along those lines. But if we close doji or even slightly bullish, then we continue. At least that's what I think. Short back to 80k. Yeah, no, I mean I still have my order at 84. It's like, where is it? Oh, I hit it earlier. No, is it gone? Oh, we have to go all the way back. Okay, no, there we go. We're back. I mean, I do have an order here. No, that's my short. Wait, what? Oh, because it's inverted. Okay. I mean, I do have an order at 84k, but let's see. See how it goes. That's true. I do agree with Daga. Like, I know people have. I know there was a time where I just considered moon phases. Like, oh shit, today's new moon. It's probably bearish. I don't do that anymore, but somehow sometimes it lines up with the thing. Yeah. Self fulfilling prophecy. That's a whole concept in economics as well, and that's why I'm also a contrarian trader because self fulfilling prophecies are pro cyclical, and at least in banking and financing logic, we want to be counter cyclical for not only to make more gains but also for sustainability. Um, but yeah, oh, that's a nasty 5 minute close. It's okay. BTC is actually not doing too bad relative to Solana, or maybe I'm just too zoomed in. No, I mean it had a wick here. Solana just complete flat, but we are at the zero line again. I am seeing a decrease in money flow, right? It's kind of dropping. I mean, we had it here, but now we're having it again on the 5 minutes. And what we'll see as well is here we had bottoming bars, but here we have, but then it's not as dark as we would like. That said, higher low, higher low. If we flip here, if we don't, then yeah. Uh, I think it's just gonna wipe out the pump. Actually, I don't usually do this, but 1 minute time frame. Bullish div. Okay, maybe not. We'll see. Or 1 minute's just not unreliable. Yeah, maybe 1 minute's just unreliable as a time frame in general. One tick. Yeah, you're right. Let's go one tick. Oh, I don't have the ultimate plan. 1 second. Yeah, this is ultra reliable. 1 second. Look at that. We moved it to 1 second, and now it's moving to the upside, and now it's going down. Okay. Oh yeah, it's just planning to wipe us out. Actually, um, trend classifier. Yeah, it's also how I get my candles colored. Yeah. Although it's weird, right now bear strength is 3, but this should be a red body. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. 4 hour fake out, or still think can plan for after lunch. Possibly. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to decide when the candle hasn't closed. If it closes like this, then yeah, it's just it's real. If it closes like this, if it doesn't, then it was a fake out, or it was a scare, or liquidity grab. Let's go back to the 1 hour. Right. Okay, canceled that. Thank goodness. Okay, so this has become a place where a lot of retail is buying, and there's quite a lot of delta here. So that might be a place where people are putting in buy orders because this is um, bullish delta, this is bearish delta. So there are a lot more or a lot more buy orders right now. So this is just acting as um, support at the moment. So 15-minute close. The plan is if we close like this, um, then it's a real grab here on the 1 hour, which is also the 4 hour close, right? But if not, and somehow in those 15 minutes we just head back up, it's possible. We've seen it before. Then we should be okay. What does the green diamond in your left chart mean? This one? Um, it's like retest, I believe, of the quantum reactor. Then this one is bullish signal. Yeah, it's part of the new Oracle Pro Plus. Those green bars. How did you set up that styling, and are they bots? This one, or which one are you talking about, the Sidious? Oh, these are bottoming bars. So they're part of the MVP oscillator toolkit. So if you go to inputs MVP oscillator, essentially it's chart prime's calculation for where momentum is sort of bottoming out, bottoming out. So you can see when we got these bottoming bars, we sort of bottomed here. It's a local bottom in terms of momentum, and we're sort of experiencing that here again. This is going to be a local bottom according to the oscillator. It's manipulation both sides. Wait. Diff oscillate. Yeah. So you're plus, right? So you can do pro or pro plus. You just gotta select which oscillator you want. So prime or MVP. But they do different things. MVP oscillator is a superior momentum indicator, and the prime oscillator pro plus is just um, it's a superior strength and money flow volume indicator. But okay, let's see how we close. Still got 10 minutes on the chart. Yeah, it's just wiping us out. Did anyone stay in the XRP short by any chance? Oh no, it's so funny. I should have just stayed in the XRP short. I should have just kept it here. It was perfect. Oh, yeah. Nice, BZ. So you should be up right now on your short, right? The 1.98. Yes. Congratulations. Uh, in 10 minutes, it's possible we just completely go up, I think. Great job, Dimitar. Very, very happy for you. If you zoom out 6 hour, show the last bottom of 80K. Is that a larger pattern forming? And then for our oscillator, will moon. Um, is this BTC? Let's see real quick. And let me just turn quite a lot of these off so that we can see it better. If you zoom out, show the last bottom of 80K here. Are you trading on the phone? Well, for Dimitar, yeah, I think he's trading on the phone. I'm trading on the phone. If you zoom out 6 hours, show last bottom of 80K. Pattern part forming. The thing is, yes, it is forming a pattern, but remember, I kind of said I didn't like the pattern it was forming, because if we invert it, right, and then parallel channel, just do that, meh, meh, meh. It makes a bear flag, which sucks. Like, you don't want that pattern. You can see I drew a pattern like this during our live around November, and we were shorting at 108. We shorted down to about 90, about 93, and then whatnot. And it played out well, right? So if this is the same thing as this, then that's not good for us. At least for people holding spot bags here, because then that would put you at like 66k BTC on the measured move. And you can see that at least here, there is precedent for this measured move, right? If you place it right where the breakout, you basically get to where your dump was initially. So yeah, Solana's back to 127. Really wiped out that 133. At least we got there. SL to BE, no risk. Yeah, but 1 week again. Depending on how you look at the 1 week, right? If your Elliott wave is to be believed, and the fact that we've only had oversold once before uh on the CPO plus. So if we go 1 week Binance, I believe it's not over here. It's in one of these. One of these charts had oversold. We went from like 16 to 70 when we went oversold in that one other instance. So there is precedent in believing that oversold CPO plus with a diamond shift, up reversal, and switch, Elliott wave, 1 week golden zone, we reject, then yeah, that's going to be a macro head and shoulders on the 1 week. But if you get above that 1 week golden zone and you get enough liquidity, you get a bigger move, then you go to your 1 week retracement, which is going to start anywhere from 148 to about 184. And that said, we do have this very large liquidity block here on Bitcoin 1 week. So macro looks, I mean, it doesn't look perfect, right? It doesn't look perfect, but there is precedent in both banking as well as our CPO plus to believe it goes up. Yeah, I like that pattern too. BTC engulfed. Liquidity block is a mix between liquidity and order blocks, but let me go back to BTC. Yeah, it looks engulfed too. Okay, so that is an engulfing candle. It's hard to believe that we could get something that will resolve this within the next 5 minutes. It's here on Market Dynamics Pro. You just scroll down, prime blocks. Yeah. Neutral volume change of character. Man, I should have just kept that XRP short. Should have just kept it. But congratulations to those who didn't see the XRP the XRP modified short entry, because the 1.98 was actually spot on, and we're basically back to entry from there, or close enough. We are going to a liquidity block. So 5 minutes, this is where you either pray for a Hail Mary to push us back up, or you close. But I'll wait for the 1 hour to decide. Right. Dang, sorry. I'm curious now that I'm in the I don't want to be too greedy on a comfortable take profit range. Um, I mean, I believe my initial SL to BE for it should be up in my channel somewhere. Let me check it out for you, Zbeezy. Uh, my initial first take profit's 1.93, so you're past it. So you can put your stop loss to break even on your short. My final take profit was down here, 1.853, but I think you can take profits at 1.9. Yeah, at the 618. But you know, this 5 minutes kind of oversold. Well, it's not gonna go oversold, I don't think. Well, it could actually. But the bottoming bars are just insane. It's just complete bottoming bar. So 5 minutes. This is the 5 minute Hail Mary candle. Um, POC has now moved on the 5 minutes to up here, so we're below the POC, our point of control. So let's see what we do. Maybe we moon in these next 5 minutes. That would be exciting. If not, I'll just laugh and think about life in a while. Just erase all this couple of minutes here. Just it'll be so funny. But yeah, if we close like this, it's not good. Basically, you engulf the the long or the move that we made, and therefore it practically cancels it out completely. And you just want more downside. But yeah, it's still 3 minutes on the show. If anyone still has questions, just let me know. Because we do only have 3 minutes left. If we close. Actually, I kind of want to see what the CPO Plus looks like after this candle. It's probably going to transition red. You think if 86 support is broken, 74 is the next level? Not necessarily. I don't think necessarily 74 is the next level. Liquidity is at around 63. Oh, no, not 63. Sorry. Liquidity is around 85, 84. So I don't think we just drop to 63 straight away. It's possible, but I don't think we do. Yeah, it got up, top of the rising ascending channel, dropped back down, just like in a very quick move. Yeah, I'm actually curious to see, because if we go oversold on the 5, let's go actually. Yeah, let's wait for it to close, and then I'll probably end at 12:05, just to give some closing thoughts on where we might go after. Yeah, no, we were looking at liquidation heat maps, and I did say that 89 earlier, big hotspot. I think was it 89? Yeah, 89 was a decent hotspot, so should have foreseen this. And based on the liquidation levels, I said we'd kill the longs, the shorts, and then kill the longs. It can. They're not. They're not gonna. They're not going to stay forever, right? As market changes, they can go higher, lower. All right, so we got our official 4 hour, 1 hour close. Yep, candle looks very ugly. Just a quick transition switch. 5 minutes looks pretty ugly. Let's go 30 minutes, 4 hour, real quick before I end. See what we're looking at. 4 hours just bearish. You don't want that. That's a long wick to the downside. Um, so for any longs we might have, it might be prudent to I wouldn't switch short necessarily, because that's sort of what they want you to do. Granted, we have no more risk on Solana, right? So I would just see how we react, because we didn't necessarily, because okay, this whole sort of line here, right? Oh, I should have used a trend line. I should have used a horizontal line. This sort of line here has become a pretty decent support, and we didn't really touch it just yet. So 4 hour very bearish. We tap. Oh, it's a 4 hour 618 on Solana, 133.65 liquidity, bearish liquidity block near the POC as well. Um, right now, closing the long, it's up to you if you just want to sleep in with peace of mind. Granted, we don't have any risk anymore since we took profits and our stop loss is set to break even. Um, XRP, I would say it's probably time to take profits a little bit. You're very welcome, Sbeezy. But yeah, take profits on XRP. Definitely time to take some profits on the short. And yeah, what I would say right now is set an alert. If you're on Solana, set an alert for 126. For BTC, set an alert under 86,000, or like at 86,000. And the reason I say that is because is this inverted? Yeah, it's inverted. Okay, let me just flip this back. So the reason I say 86 is because essentially 86 is where we got our wicks from this point. And if we revisit that level, then it's most likely we're headed down. Granted, you can see that now we're sort of headed up, and a lot of retail would have probably switched at the close of the candle, which is what I didn't want for us to do. So just take it one step at a time, right? We're still alive, and for some of us, I should have just kept my short on XRP, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'd say because we flushed out the longs, they're probably just buying back around this area. Granted, this is a close. Just be careful. Set an alert. Close if you want to sleep in peace or you don't want to think about it. You can stay. There's no risk anymore since we put stop loss to break even. But with that said, thank you guys for joining me on this live. Quite a roller coaster. We went up volatility matrix and then we just started headed down. I will continue sending out signals into the week, so don't worry. It's also why I kind of didn't want to scalp today because of how weird this was. But yeah, with that said, once again, I am Langstrom, and remember to always use a stop loss. Thank you guys. I'll see you next week. Take care.